Deep in a sun-drenched market, a small donkey follows a rigid daily loop. He hauls heavy bags through the crowds, his life measured by the constant clop, clop, clop of his hooves on the pavement. This is a life of zero autonomy. He moves only when commanded, defined entirely by the weight on his back and his status as a beast of burden. The change happens late one night in a jungle camp. Seeking to keep his animal warm, a merchant drapes a thick, realistic lion skin over the sleeping donkey and quickly falls asleep himself. The donkey drifts off at the bottom of the forest's social hierarchy, unaware that this new external layer has changed how every predator and prey animal in the woods will treat him at sunrise. In the morning, the donkey wanders into the thick of the forest. He feels exactly the same, yet he is now walking around in a complete apex predator costume. The response from the ecosystem is immediate. The deer freeze, monkeys scramble into the highest branches. Rabbits bolt for their burrows. This is the result of a visual threat signature. To a prey animal, survival depends on reacting to a silhouette before the brain processes details. Instincts flag the mane and tail, triggering a threat-detected loop that completely ignores the donkey's hooves underneath. Without lifting a finger, the donkey has bypassed the entire food chain. He has achieved the status of a king through a simple glitch in the forest's collective survival instinct. As he moves through the trees, the donkey begins to notice a change in the environment. For the first time in his life, the path ahead of him is perfectly clear. He begins to enjoy the perks of his high-ranking silhouette. He eats the sweetest grass without being chased away and spends his afternoons napping in the warm, undisturbed sunshine. There is a psychological danger in this sudden lack of friction. Because no one is shouting at him or forcing him to carry loads, the donkey begins to lose touch with his actual, vulnerable nature. He stops scurrying, mimicking the slow, heavy gait of a predator. He walks with his head held high, convinced the forest belongs to him. The constant, terrified reactions from the other animals provide all the validation he needs. It is a feedback loop so powerful it makes him forget he is still just a donkey in a suit. The disguise holds for days, until one quiet afternoon, a specific, high-pitched sound drifts over from a distant hill. It is the call of a lady donkey, a sound that triggers a response older than the donkey's current costume. This is an instinctual override. Biological reflexes bypass conscious performance. When an environmental trigger hits the ear, the signal skips the conscious mind entirely, heading straight for the motor cortex. It is an unstoppable chain reaction, reaching his vocal cords before he can stay quiet. His ears perk up, and his jaw drops. He opens his mouth and lets out a massive, echoing hee-haw. In a single second, the disguise fails. No matter how convincing the external layer, the hardwired nature underneath eventually forces its way out. The forest goes silent. The auditory evidence of a donkey has just collided with the visual evidence of a lion, and the animals stop in their tracks as the confusion clears. A real lion, who has been watching the donkey from a nearby rock, slowly stands up. Instead, he doesn't growl or attack. He simply shakes his heavy mane in a gesture of unbothered dismissal. The true predator doesn't need a costume to command the forest. He sees the donkey for what he is and walks away, leaving the imposter standing alone. The imitation might survive as long as it isn't tested, but it collapses the moment it encounters the genuine article. The other animals emerge from the brush, no longer afraid.
Some even laugh as the merchant finally catches up to his missing animal. The merchant laughs warmly too, reaching out to physically lift the heavy, hot lion skin right off the donkey's back. As the pelt falls away, the donkey's posture changes. The tension of the kingly strut vanishes, and he settles back into the familiar, easy rhythm of his own life. The biological reflex eventually forces the mask off every time. Since the real you is going to surface anyway, there is a distinct practical power in simply being honest from the start.